This is a Ladies, gentlemen, octanes, and roadhogs, thank you for joining us here on a beautiful Wednesday night of QRLS, another Wednesday night double header. Joining me in the booth today, as always, my good friend and partner, K1 Killer, and K1 kicking things off here in the doubleheader. We've got the Kings and the Gold Diggers.
Kings and the Gold Diggers, and I can't wait to see this matchup. Absolutely. Gold Diggers coming off of getting swept last week, and the Kings coming off a big win last week. So two very different weeks they had for themselves, or two very different matchups they had for themselves last week. So both with a bit of a chip on their shoulder, Kings trying to get to that number one spot in their respective divisions. So can't wait to see how this one breaks down.
Yeah, you mentioned the different weeks that these two squads had in week two, and obviously they sit at the same record. However, you could almost argue that the Kings might have a little more momentum considering they won their series 2-1, and that the Gold Diggers might be a little behind the eight ball going into this match after getting swept. Do you think that's going to play a part tonight?
I don't think so. The mentality that both these teams have is very much great. Whatever the results of last week, that's fine. What matters most right now is this next game, this next matchup, this next shot. Both teams are, especially with the leadership of Blubbernut on the Kings, he's very good at keeping his team focused. As being a member, a past member of his team, I know for a fact he's very, very focused on what's in front of him. And I know Will Six. I know Will Six, Baby Dumbs, and Red Terror are of the same mindset. So right now, they're both teams are zeroed in right now, crosshairs solely on their opponent across the field, and they are both teams looking to sweep the other right now.
I want to talk about a lot of the offensive output we've seen, specifically by the Kings. Going into this week, they were second in the league in goals as a team, and that still stands as of right now, even after the first match of the week that we saw between Clarity United and the Hammerheads. And with that being said, they are the only squad which all three players average a goal per game, and that is a lot of different weapons and a lot of different angles that the firepower can come from. Do you think that the Gold Diggers are going to have a little bit of a hard time defensively against that consistency?
Mm-hmm. Oh, without a doubt. Blubbernut is a offensive force, has been since day one this league started. Panda has, I think, turned a lot of heads so far with his goal scoring ability. One big knock he had going into the season was, is he going to be able to be there for his team offensively? And he's answered that with a resounding yes so far in the few weeks we've seen him in Strive. Being the rookie to watch out for is showing exactly why. As he's been pounding in a number of goals, which what that means for the Kings is they're doing a great job facilitating the play, being spread out and giving each other scoring opportunities and setting each other up with great chances to score. Whereas on the flip side of this coin, Will Six has been leading the way for his teams. But if you look at Baby Dumbs and Red Terror, their scoring it has leaves a lot to be asked for. Baby Dumbs with a number of assists to Will. But right now, it looks as if the Gold Diggers, their sole scoring shot is Will Six, whereas the Kings, as you mentioned, have three weapons they can use at any time, it seems, which is going to be a huge disadvantage for the Gold Diggers in this matchup.
Yeah, you mentioned Strive, the rookie sensation, one of four rookies on a roster right now in the QRLS, a absolutely insane rookie of the season race here kicking off early in the season. And also Panda, you pointed out, showing a lot of strides offensively, and he's also second in the league right now in saves per game, tied with Will Six across the field, and trailing only Ozzy of the Three Rocketeers.
Definitely. Panda, it's well known. He's a defensive back wall and has been the defensive back wall, totaling 12 saves thus far in the season for the Kings. And he's been that, and that's where the question came in was, all right, we know he's going to be back, but will he be up? And, he has 6 goals, which puts him pretty much up there in question with, when you're looking at the top goal scorers right now, obviously you have Billy Bob and Throttle Dog. Billy Bob at 15, Throttle Dog at 10 goals apiece. But after that, it's pretty much a series of 8 goals, 7 goals, and Panda sitting at 6 goals. So he's right up there with the best goal scorers in the league. Will only having 2 more goals than Panda, and you wouldn't necessarily put those two in the same conversation, but statistically speaking, they are. Absolutely. So Panda's been playing phenomenally so far this season, and I'm sure he's going to look to continue that into this matchup, which could be is a big make or break matchup for the Kings right now, as they're chasing that number 1 spot in their respective division, the Savage division.
Yeah, always good to see players come into their own, especially good friends of ours like Panda. And as you mentioned, the Kings trying to fight for that number 1 spot, but the Gold Diggers also trying to regain that number 1 spot. Right now, they trail 2 games behind the Headhunters, who we will see play Friday night. And with that being said, the Gold Diggers, like we mentioned, coming off of getting swept, kind of looking to reset the game here, trying to essentially start 0-0 again and try to come out on top and close that gap. Whereas in the Savage division, it is really close between all 4 teams right now, and it's not really clear who the head honcho is of that division. Very similar to what we saw last season.
You're exactly right, Bucket. And yeah, the Savage division has always been just so volatile between the leadership and how it rolls. And the Kings right now have always been, throughout their history, battling for that 1 or 2 spot. Not often will you see them in the 3 spot. They did fall to the 3 spot last season toward the end of the season. But they spent pretty much the entirety of the season in that 1 or 2 spot up until the last few weeks. And I know Blubbernut, now having taken the reins on the Kings, is trying to get up there, back up there. So that's why it's definitely a make or break week for them. They want to be able to catch up to that Bleacher Boy clarity, those dynasties that are quickly building. On the flip side, though, yeah, you have Will Six, Red Terror, and Baby Dumbs rounding out the Gold Diggers, who, as of last season, was kind of an afterthought. This season, especially at the beginning, a lot of people looking at potentially the best team in the league, where the Headhunters came in and I think really turned the whole league and our expectations on our head after sweeping the Gold Diggers. So the Gold Diggers now, in a very strange position they find themselves, where they were kind of the favorite to win. Now all eyes are on them. Was this a fluke in week 1? Did we over anticipate them? Are they going to be able to come back from this? And so Will Six, being the goal leader on their team, definitely has a lot of pressure on him tonight.
Yeah, and honestly, that it speaks volumes to what Captain Red Terror has been able to do with this squad. And on top of that, I know that this kind of sounds like a lot of criticism, but at the end of the day, I know all 3 of those competitors are they're hunting to prove everybody wrong here, and I'm sure they're going to feed off of it here, especially going into this matchup. K1, we are just about 7 minutes away from kickoff here, and I want to get your thoughts on the matchup specifically. I want to hear who you think might have the advantage, who comes out on top tonight.
And honestly, it's so tough to call, as is the case with any of these games, especially early on like this. I want to say right now, the edge falls to the Gold Diggers. I know it talked a lot about the Kings and their teamwork, and they've definitely been doing a lot of work in the last week or so. And I know they're growing exponentially each week, but we haven't quite seen that skill necessary, in my opinion, to beat out the Gold Diggers. I think it's incredibly possible for them to completely change my mind and prove me wrong. I've eaten my words more than enough times, and if anything, I think the fact that I'm not necessarily rooting against, but the reason the fact that I'm calling against the Kings in this case is probably the reason they're going to go and win this series. But as it's been the history for my calls, but I think right now it's going to be 2-1 Gold Diggers. I think the Gold Diggers pull off games 1 and 2, and the Kings are able to rally and beat them in game 3 to prevent the sweep. But a lot of this is going to come down to Red Terror and how well he plays and how well he's able to rotate with his team.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, do not forget this is not the only matchup here on the card tonight. Later on, approximately 9:15, we are going to see the 3 Rocketeers go ahead and take on the Bleacher Boys, another interdivisional matchup. which sees the former number one Bleacher Boys. They could still be up there at the end of this week. However, Clarity United did get their 5th win this week. K1, temporarily right now putting them ahead of the Bleacher Boys, and there's a lot of pressure on them as well. Because they're almost in that same category as the Gold Diggers. We're not quite sure where to really consider them towards the top or towards the middle, but at the end of the day, right now they're holding that spot in the Savage division and looking to stay there.
Without a doubt, and the Kings are they're I've mentioned it before, one of the scrappier teams that I've seen play, and they're very adaptive, have always been. It's been part of their play style really since day one. Very adaptive to their opponents. That's why I do think I'd be shocked to see them not pull off a game, as well as they're able to adapt to their competition. It's just going to be how quickly are they able to. Very different pace of play playing against the Gold Diggers than against a Clarity or a Speed Demons. The Gold Diggers are very clean with their rotations oftentimes. A Will Six is going to put a shot on net from nearly anywhere. And the dynamic duo between Baby Dumbs and Will Six is just so difficult to work around. So it's 100% going to be a change of pace. It's going to be the question really comes down to how quickly are the Kings going to be able to adapt to that level of play.
Yeah, that point was also brought up last week by our colleague Massimune, how great the Kings are able to adapt. And as you mentioned, historically as well, Blubbernut, the captain of the Kings, was this week's player spotlight in the weekend review show that is now on the YouTube channel. If you haven't gone and seen it, and if you couldn't watch it live, go ahead and check that out on the YouTube channel, QRLS Official. Go ahead and like it, subscribe it, comment what you think you agree or disagree with in our panel's analysis. And with that being said, K1, we see Blubbernut on one side, we see Will on the other. One is a former MVP, one is a former MVP runner-up, and, this is going to be a barn burner.
No doubt whatsoever. And you also keep in mind Will Six and Blubbernut, they have some blood that goes back to season 2, as the two of them were on rival teams. The Kings going up against the 3 Rocketeers at that time, the Sneaky Snakes, and Will was a front runner for them. That was his rookie year and led the Sneaky Snakes all the way to the championship, almost swept the Kings in the championship, and a lot on the back of Blubbernut's leadership, the Kings were able to turn that entire series around and actually win the season 2 championship on a reverse sweep, as is the Kings motto, almost down but never out. And so there's some bad blood between Will Six and Blubbernut from that matchup there. A rivalry between players, 2 questionable greatest of all time candidates, and we get to see them battle it out, duke it out, a real Goliath versus Goliath, both very similar play styles. So I'd love to see this kind of level of competition between these 2 players, some friendly rivalry, and we'll see who comes out on top this time around, as it looks like Blubbernut has had the last laugh recently, but it's a whole new season.
New season, new vibes, new teams. Speaking of new teams, we have 2 new teams at least joining the QRLS here going into Season 5. Right now we are in Season 4, obviously. However, we are looking for people and or players looking to be captains of these 2 new teams. And with that being said, if you are a player / free agent, even a fan in the QRLS, go ahead and fill out the captainship application form found in the Discord server, and make sure you answer those questions truthfully, honestly, and as quickly as you can to make sure we can put you in that pool of considerees for this expansion. And honestly, when we get more teams, K1, it just makes me very excited, and there's just no better feeling to me than expansion, because it really just means momentum.
And we talk about it, so important in game, and that's true. But honestly, momentum in regards to the QRLS and our growth that we've seen in just the past year now, encroaching almost on going into a year and a half, it's been incredible, honestly humbling to see just what I think somebody compared it to a homegrown hodgepodge of friends just kind of hey, let's play some custom Rocket League together and maybe add a little competitive twist to it, and to where it is today has been, again, just humbling.
Yeah, no question. And as we sit here trying to get this lobby set up, we want to thank all the viewers here that are here and ready to go for this doubleheader on a QRLS Wednesday night. And there is no question that this is going to be a very, very fun one. And there is one more after this, ladies and gentlemen. This is a doubleheader. This beautiful Wednesday night, we see first the Kings taking on the Gold Diggers, as you see on your screen. And we also will have none other than the Three Rocketeers taking on the all-so-dangerous Bleacher Boys in prime time, approximately 8:15. And K1, we've got a lobby, we are getting players in, and we are ready for some QRLS.
I can't wait. Yep, here we are, finally. Looks like we're just waiting now on the Kings to get in. Had some issues getting the lobby up, but none that we couldn't figure out here with our big old brains. But yes, we have some players. We have some boost filled up. And more than anything, we have some fans in the stands. It's going to be very exciting as we get ready to load into this matchup here between the Kings and the Gold Diggers.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very high-stakes match for both teams, and I cannot wait to see this one go down. Players are hitting the field. Who will win the first face-off here? Let's find out. Clock is ticking. Players still entering in here, playing a little spawn tag. Here we go, K1. Kings versus the Gold Diggers.
We have liftoff now, and looks like Panda wins the face-off, and Will 6 now collecting.
We have Will 6 taking it all the way to the net. Nice save by Blubbernut there. That looked like a very big gap. You could have fit a dump truck through that one, K1.
Yep, and we're already seeing that battle between giants happening now. Will 6 putting a great shot on net, and Blubbernut blocking, unable to block that one, however, as Will 6 with a nice, clean doink off a self-pass, able to get a nice lead.
Great little touch there by Will 6 as we see this lead raised to 1, courtesy of the Gold Diggers. Only 20 seconds in here, but as you mentioned, K1, in the pre-show, the Kings are probably the best in the league at adapting.
No doubt. We'll see them. It looks like they're just a bit sparse on rotation here, but we see Panda now back in position to get a nice clear there as they're going to start going. But I talked about it in the pre-show. The offensive pressure you're going to see from Will 6 and Baby Dumbs is not easy to bounce from. So they're certainly going to have to fix that rotation, make it just a bit more tight to be able to get this one going.
Will 6, nice little kiss off the top post. Baby Dumbs can't get there for the shot. That would have been a beautiful opportunity. Instead now, the Kings transition offense here. Blubbernut in the air. What a touch off the top post. Nobody there to clean it up as Strive hits it a little high.
And Baby Dumb's in a really awkward position, but you see how quick he's able to get up in the air, even though the ball's behind him, use the nose of his car just to get a hand in the face of the shooting Strive, able to prevent that one from going in, keeps them in the lead.
Strive now at the mid, trying to get the offense going. Nice little ping pong, as our buddy Squiddy would say at the mid. And Panda now on the wall, trying to get this thing back going. It is back and forth here. Not a lot of shots taken these last 30 seconds.
Definitely, and Strive playing a bit calculated there. Kind of a risky play mid, but one that I very much like. Saw the offense on the left side of the field, was able to switch sides of the field to hopefully get it clear, and now we see Panda coming in to bring that chance to fruition as a pass goes to Blubbernut. Oh, just off the crossbar.
What a beautiful pass there by Panda. Put it right on the money to Blubber, but Blubber just barely missed near post. Very tough one to execute, but this one rolls in courtesy of Panda.
And this one from way downtown. What a shot from Panda. Sniper.
What a shot indeed, and it gets a little courtesy roll off of that post. 1-1 game here with almost exactly 3 minutes remaining in game 1 of this 3-game series. And just like that, another textbook save by Panda, and we have a game again, K1.
Yep, and you saw that Kings' ability to adapt. They knew that they're getting a lot of offensive pressure, but one thing with offensive pressure is you know that that's a sparse backline. Panda read that, was able to find a nice shot. That's how they were able to get that goal. even though they're playing on the defensive half a lot of the time, they see those open net opportunities from way downfield, and they're able to capitalize on that one.
More offensive pressure here by the Kings. Blubbernut resets here. Nice rotate back. Panda now putting on some pressure. Checks out now, letting the defense recollect and letting his defense now transition as Will Six waits for the boost, gets it, climbs up the sideline, but Panda's there to challenge.
And Panda's been playing phenomenally tonight as he gets a big 50, puts it in a great spot for his team, unable to capitalize, unfortunately, and good defensive effort from Red Terror there. But that was definitely not a ball that the Gold Diggers wanted to see.
We see Strive way up top there trying to clear this thing out of his defensive zone. The rookie sensation gets a beautiful demo in midair. And now we have Panda trying to reset. And this really disrupts the flow of the game here, K1.
Without a doubt now, as this ball goes from what I thought was in front of the Kings net for a majority of the time, has now been in the Gold Diggers, as they really are bing-bonging around, as Squid would say so aptly. And Baby Dom's able to be the one to break the stalemate. What a shot from nearly nowhere. I didn't see that there was an angle.
From just about the boost pad there, K1 kisses that thing into the far corner, and we have a 1-goal deficit now. The Gold Diggers' second lead of the night with 1:35 remaining, and a nice kill there at the mid by Panda on the face-off. Blubbernut now corralling in his defensive zone. Baby Dumps puts one on! Off the far post, wow!
And the post coming in clutch again. Strive, I thought maybe gave up on that play, but obviously he saw something I didn't, was very calm, cool, and collected, knew the ball wasn't on, and played it perfectly to get that clear now, as he's back on the defensive end, and the Kings once again trying to find a way to clear. What an athletic play from Strive to get that clear.
What a play indeed! He wasn't even looking at the ball, K1.
Not at all. Twisting around like a pretzel now as Strive tries to get a play to his team. And Baby Dumbs getting in front of there. And Baby Dumbs has been great on defense, cutting off passes, which has been the Kings' bread and butter. But maybe the demo's what it needed. Strive, unable to get the goal. Again, another great defensive effort from the Gold Diggers.
Another beautiful demo. Strive, as you mentioned, had that quick opportunity, but hit it a little too near post and instead couldn't follow through off the rebound. But there is 30 seconds remaining here, and the Kings are on offense. Blubbernut, top post, no!
And the Kings are passing so phenomenally. They're just unable to get that last little touch in to get the ball into the net. As Will off the crossbar. And this could be a power play opportunity with 2 players committed downfield. Can the Kings capitalize?
Open net here for the Gold Diggers, but Red Terror can't quite get there. What a great save there by Strive to hustle back. But there is not enough time left. This might go in. Top post, no!
And so many shots going off the crossbars there. What a fantastic matchup. Much, much closer than I think some might have anticipated. Kings playing phenomenally. And I'll say it, the scoreboard might not show it. I think the Kings actually outplayed the Gold Diggers in that game. They just weren't able to get the shots they needed to go in. If they're able to clean up a little bit on offense, be a bit more accurate with their shots, and able to support their team just a bit more on the offensive end, they have a real chance of taking the next 2 games against the Gold Diggers.
Yeah, and look at the shot total there by the Gold Diggers as compared to the Kings. I mean, this is was an onslaught of pepper here, and as you mentioned, the Kings honestly played really well. It was just a matter of hitting the shots that they did get the opportunities on, and, you know, I don't think the Kings are down or out in this one quite yet.
No, not at all. The big difference right there is you see the shot totals, and the Gold Diggers had a lot of control on the offensive half of the Kings, but the Kings played perfect bend don't break defense, as I always mention with Rocket League. Even though they took a lot of shots, they saved so many. Only 2 able to get through their back line. If they're able to, again, like I mentioned before, turn around and get that offense going a bit more, they have a very real chance of taking on this Gold Diggers. This is definitely a much better Kings than we saw even last week against the Speed Demons.
Game 2 underway. 5 minutes remaining here in this Game 2 of the 3-game series between the Kings and the Gold Diggers. Strive on offense. Nice little kiss up to his teammate Blubbernut there. Panda puts one on and it goes in.
And Panda, again, playing phenomenally here. A 50 we didn't quite think we would see from him. So quick to challenge Baby Dumbs, who does not lose 50s quite often. And it looks like Panda just quite literally beat Baby Dumbs to the ball, was able to slot that one in for a nice early lead.
As we mentioned, Panda averaging a goal per game, and he keeps up that pace with that one, and is also a former Most Improved Player Award winner back in Season 1. And with that, the Kings are now up by 1 with 4:38 remaining, their first lead of this 3-game series.
Definitely, and it's interesting to see. Everybody looks to, we mentioned it before when we were talking. Everybody looks to Strive or Blubbernut to be the goal scorer, but so far, Panda scored every goal for the Kings. So it's been very interesting to see how well he's been playing and adjusting to the play style.
Strive up the wall. What a great opportunity, thwarted by Red Terror. Great defense. Panda kisses one up. This one might be on net. K1, and it goes in!
Oh my, the teardrop. I think I heard bomb sirens going off on this one. Pew! What a shot. Long goal gives them the lead by 2.
Panda's third of the night, second of this game alone, and we aren't even a minute into this one yet, K1, as the Kings have a 2-goal lead now, courtesy of Panda.
Definitely, and I believe it's Will scored last game?
Yes.
Okay, so that actually ties him and Will right now for goals, for total goals, which, again, if you want to compare 2 players, you know, you typically wouldn't put Panda and Will in the same conversation, but Panda is here to prove us all wrong as Will takes that leadership right back there, though, with a great shot.
Will is not bowing down just yet. Plenty of clock left in this one, and he puts this one in the back of the net with emphasis, 75 miles an hour on a 30-second possession, and we have a 1-goal game again. Kings still in the lead, however, the Gold Diggers looking to claw out of it here on this face-off. Nice little 50 there at the face-off. No clear winner. We see Baby Dumbs up the wall. Can't quite get it off that side as he wanted with the pass, but now Panda recollecting and Blubber looking for the clear.
Blubber doing a good job there, and this is really starting to look like it's just a full-on slugfest between these 2 teams, with a big bump from Blubbernut, who's so often known to do that, gets the bump, disrupts the defense, gets the goal.
What a great play there. Disrupted the defense, as you mentioned, got the defensive rotations a little out of whack, and Baby Dumps just couldn't get there in time, as you saw, putting the lead back to 2, courtesy of the Kings.
Definitely, and the Kings are coming out firing tonight on all cylinders. What's fantastic about this is Strive hasn't even gotten in on the scoring action yet, and we know he's good for at least 1 or 2 goals in a night. At the very least, Panda with a great save there, very decisive, but now the Gold Diggers will work to see if they can't start to come back. Not a big lead, but with time slowly ticking away, this is not an easy team to come back on.
And because this is an interdivisional matchup, K1, this is the only time in the regular season these 2 teams are going to face off. And last season when we saw that, the Kings took the series 2-1. This might be another sign here. Or will the Gold Diggers even up that career series and make it 3-3 after tonight?
We will see, absolutely. But as it's looking right now, the Kings are in full control of this one. And 2 minutes left. They seem to be just everywhere on that pitch, absolutely bringing it to the Gold Diggers, not giving them an inch of room to breathe with bumps and shots. It's a very difficult game for the Gold Diggers to be playing right now.
Panda corralling it offensively at the mid. Nice and patient there as he does. Can't quite get it past Will 6. Will 6 tries to float it past Blubbernut. Not an easy feat as Blubbernut there gets it back into the offensive zone. Great touch there, way up high by Baby Dumbs, but the Kings will not let that ball get past their mid.
And I want to point out Strive did a great job there on rotation. Accidentally double committed, which will happen, but his recognition of the double commit allowed him to quickly rotate back, which put him in perfect position to get that clear. And now look, the Kings back on offense.
Kings coming back down the field, but Will 6 has something to say about it. Kisses it up to the mid, nobody up to shoot it. Panda puts another one on net. Great save there. Hustling back is Baby Dumbs of the Gold Diggers. And K1, there is a minute 30 left and 2 goals to go if you are the Gold Diggers.
Definitely. Those demos might help, but you got to get the shots on. And Panda has just been sitting in net and just booting balls back toward their opponent's net. So hard to get past him, especially when he's playing this locked in.
Yeah, Panda having a great showing tonight, and we are about to hit the 60-second mark remaining in this game, and the Gold Diggers have to get a little desperate here, K1. They got to score one fast.
They're doing a great job keeping the offensive pressure. They're just not able to capitalize right now. I don't know if maybe they're too spread out on the offensive end, or maybe Will's just playing a bit too passive, but he needs to get more on the shooting end of things, and Baby Dumb's able to come in and clean up a nice shot from Will off the crossbar. This is exactly what they need to do with this amount of time on the clock.
And in the QRLS, it is almost famous, this league, for goals quickly following another goal and or a face-off. So this could be detrimental to this game, this face-off here, K1, as Will 6 wins it big, gets it into the corner. Panda can't quite get the clear he wants. Red Terror kisses it up. Waterfall down! Nobody home!
A difficult read coming off the roof there. That's so tough, but I know Baby Dumb's, he's kicking himself. He wanted that one bad.
The pressure was there, but now the Gold Diggers have to recollect. They have to get this ball going the other way with 20 seconds remaining. Will 6 couldn't kiss it by Panda, and now they have 15 seconds.
And Gold Diggers are all but rattled right now, doing anything they can. Will 6 will now go up the wall with a lot of boost. Not a lot of time, though. Is he able to set up his team? A great defensive effort from the Kings. Cuts that off. And with only a second left, this may drop. This may not strive. A heartbreaker. Puts it down, and the Kings come back to win that one. And a great game from Panda 2-4-0.
An exciting game, to say the least. And the clawback there at the end by the Gold Diggers really speaks volumes. But as you can see, Panda absolutely locked in for that one.
Without a doubt, Panda 2 goals there, really led his team on 5 shots even, and you could see a turnaround of plays. It's interesting, the Kings were typically used to seeing having a more spread offensive chart. Looks like Panda was their number one go-to here with 5 shots on net. Gold Diggers, on the other hand, having a nice spread, 2, 3, and 2 respectively. But honestly, it was just the Kings' game to be had. It didn't seem anything the Gold Diggers did even phased them. Panda, Blubbernut, Strive seemed to be perfectly in sync, 50ing everything, and just doing exactly what they needed to do to absolutely bring it to the Gold Diggers, this matchup. And now we get to see the rubber band match here in this next one.
Series tied 1-1. Kings win the most recent one. Gold Diggers won the opening game of this match. Who takes the victory here, K1?
If my prediction's anything to state, the Gold Diggers should win. But also knowing how I'm always the opposite, that might mean the Kings win. It's a bit of a paradox here, the K1 paradox, if you will.
Well, we are going to find out, ladies and gentlemen. 5 minutes, K1, we are underway here.
Absolutely, we have liftoff. Baby Dumbs will collect in his corner, and he's been playing pretty well tonight, but haven't been seeing him as such a defensive threat as we're used to seeing him. We're not seeing any clears back and forth between him and Will, and I'm sure that's something they're going to work on clearing up to this matchup. What a demo! Miles for a window, and Red Terror executing.
What a demo indeed, and he threads the needle on the ground, K1, as the captain, Red Terror, capitalizes, and it looked like the Kings' defense there was just very lost trying to corral that ball.
And it's very difficult to see through the smoke screen there. Uncharacteristic miss from Blubbernut can only be contributed by that smoke screen. You saw him reversing in net, killed his momentum, which prevented him from getting the save, and a lot of that coming from he didn't know where the ball was. And not something we'll see quite often. Just goes to show how detrimental demos can be.
Blubbernut now running up the sideline. This is a 1-goal contest. The Kings are trailing to the Gold Diggers here. The last time we saw the Gold Diggers score first, they won the game in Game 1. So let's see how this plays out here as the Kings now trying to transition this thing back the other way. Blubbernut now gets it into the corner. Will 6 there to corral it. Will 6 versus Blubbernut is one I would pay to see every time.
Absolutely. It's so fun to watch them go up. Speaking of going up, Strive with a nice save there. Not very comfortable to be sure, but made it look easy. And ladies and gentlemen, I can promise you that is not an easy save that we just saw there.
Yeah, the no movement straight up save is definitely a hard one, and you almost got to rely that it hits the post, and off the top post and kissing down is Will 6 to put this lead to 2.
And Will 6, where we like to see him, up in the air, quick as you like, nose down, bar down. That one goes down, and the Kings go down by 2.
Great shot there by Will Six, one of the good ones here in the league, one of the guys we love to hear from and see. And with that being said, K1, 2-goal deficit. The Kings here have to rely on that adaptability that we mentioned so many times before.
Definitely. This is right now, after the last game, the Kings' game to lose. They definitely have to do what they can. Panda hopefully trying to put the team back on his back like he did in the last matchup, the last game, trying to get this goal. Strive now, and it looks like the Kings have the pressure they need. Will they be able to take advantage of it? Still very scoreable.
What a save there by the Gold Diggers, and now we see the transition going the other way. Baby Dumbs getting it by Strive into the corner. Nice kiss, and that one goes in! What a play by Baby Dumbs!
And Strive finding himself in a very uncomfortable spot yet again. Baby Dumbs seeing the backwards defender, takes full advantage, plays it over his head, and somehow finds an angle out of that corner. Not easy to do. Nice doink to just lay it in there, almost like a finger roll.
This is a 3-goal deficit with just under 3 minutes remaining in this game. Not impossible to come back from, but the Kings need a spark of offense here. They've seemingly been a different team. And what a touch there by Red Terror!
Red Terror with the uppity, I don't even know what to call this one. The uppity down shot? My goodness, puts it down, then gets the nice follow through to put a nice rocket on net. Nice star explosion there in the middle. Gives them a 4-goal lead, and it's starting to look like the Red Terror's Gold Diggers are going to run away with this one.
Beautiful demo at the mid as the ball was killed, and now Strive trying to get the offense going here. Red Terror respawned near. That's not a good sign. What an opportunity. Strive looked for the flip reset, but nonetheless, it is still a 4-goal deficit here with 2:30 remaining. The Gold Diggers lead by 4. The series is tied right now, 1-1. Gold Diggers at the brink of winning this series off a 2-post, the double doink.
And a very awkward spot for the Kings to be in, find their way out of a jam. Bumps coming in, though. The Gold Diggers refusing to relent as Will finds another one, finds the back of the net, and ladies and gentlemen, this is looking to be a blowout in match 3.
I want to point out the playmaker by Baby Dumbs, only the second playmaker of the season, and a great showing here by Red Terror and his Gold Diggers to come back after losing that second game and just putting on a barrage of offense here against the Kings.
Definitely. The Kings are not an easy team to get past defensively, but the Gold Diggers have definitely made short work so far this matchup. Really just goes to show if you catch a team just in the right spot at the right time, you could definitely load up goals, and they are taking full advantage of that right now because even though there's a $150 left, it's not impossible for the Kings, but it's looking more and more so if Will keeps putting shots on like that.
And I want to point out what happened here in the far corner. If you can see it, Baby Dumbs with the huge bump on Blubbernut there to open that net wide open. And that gives Will Six the hat trick.
And it's so difficult to rotate into a good defensive position when you have somebody flying at you like that. Will doing a great job popping off offensively the way he needed to. Really doing what he needs to do, padding the stats for his team. Looks like they have this one pretty soundly in the bag. This will be a big turnaround matchup for them if they can keep this lead over the next minute 30 seconds.
Beautiful demo in net gives Blubbernut the wide open goal. And this one is honestly just for the pride here, K1.
Without a doubt, unless they could start chaining together a lot more goals just like this. Fantastic shot from Blubbernut. And this is going to help his team keep the momentum going, builds their confidence a bit, but they have a lot of work to do and not a lot of time to do it.
No question about it. A great showing here by the Gold Diggers. The Kings played very well there in that second game on the back of Panda, but all of a sudden, this has just been a flip of a switch, and the Gold Diggers came out with a vengeance here. And just like that, Strive with a nice save off the top post. Looked like it was going to get squeezed in there by Baby Dumps.
Strive going up there very confidently. Not an easy save to do when rotating around on the back wall of your own goal. Was able to make it look easy. Not something easily done, however. Strive, a very mechanical player, able to pull that one off. Does a great job clearing that ball.
Blubbernut now trying to just get this thing out of the defensive side. Panda pushes it offensively. Nice little kiss off the back wall there. Nobody home to shoot it. As Will Six now by himself where he likes to be. Beautiful demo. You saw Panda swing for it a couple times there. And Red Terror near post. Baby Dumps to follow. Nobody home.
And again, the Gold Diggers just forcing this ball down the throats of the Kings, making no doubt that this is their series and their win to have. Will Six having a great game here off of a number of passes from his team. Make sure to get that last laugh against Blubbernut this season at least until potential playoff times come.
And ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. We are going to relaunch the stream for the next matchup between the Three Rocketeers and the Bleacher Boys as we see the Gold Diggers win this series 2-1. And honestly, with a very impressive Game 3.
Very impressive Game 3. This is the Gold Diggers. We like to see 3 goals coming off of 3 goals from Will, 4 assists for Baby Dumbs, a goal himself, and 2 goals from Red Terror. Everybody getting in on the action. 12 shots on net. That is a goal. That game will win. You'll win any game putting up numbers like that. Kings just weren't able to keep up with it despite having a fantastic Game 2. Awesome matchups back and forth, but the Gold Diggers came out on top.
A lot of fun this one was. We are going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. Again, do not go anywhere. We are relaunching this stream here, and we are doing it very quickly, so stay tuned.